Hi everyone. Today is Tuesday, April 7th, and this is the cartoon that we have for today. And I thought I would just go through it a little bit just to explain what it is. So you have this kid playing video games on the TV, and his two hopeful parents thinking about all of the jobs that he will get in the future. So it says, Nintendo expert needed, $50,000 salary plus bonus. Or the next one, looking for good Mario Brothers player, $100,000 plus your own car. The next one, can you save the princess? We need skilled men and women, $75,000 in retirement plan. The next one, which I love, and I hope your kids are not spending too much time playing video games. If you have 50,000 hours or more of video game experience, we need you. So anyway, I thought it was pretty cute. If only our children could get jobs through video games, right? But it doesn't work that way. Alrighty, the next page is our ad for this week, and I will show you what it looks like in color. And it says, real cheese people know which snack leads the protein pack. Okay, so this is about Sargento cheese, and it's comparing the protein that the 8 grams of protein that a cheese snack has is more than the 7 grams of peanut butter. It is more than the 6 grams of almonds. It's more than the 6 grams of eggs and more than the 2 grams of hummus. So it's saying that it has more protein than any other of those snacks. And then at the bottom it says, Sargento string cheese. With 8 grams of protein per serving, it beats the competition to keep you fueled and satisfied. A formidable ruler of snack time indeed. And that indeed is like for a fact or absolutely. Indeed. Okay. So if we're going to do our gist, our main idea, what is this ad about? It's about Sargento snack cheese or Sargento cheese. And it's comparing itself to the other protein snacks, right? So what is, the first question is, what is this mainly about? The second question is, what is most important about this picture? It's comparing itself to all the other ones. It has more protein than all of the rest of them. So it has the most protein, right? So I put Sargento cheese snacks has the most protein. Actually, at first I put Sargento cheese, and then I put Sargento cheese snacks. So I have to change that verb tense, don't I? Oh my goodness, I made a mistake. So because Sargento cheese snacks is plural, then we have to change that verb to have. Sargento cheese snacks have the most protein. And why do we use the word most? Because we just compared those, right? And it goes, more is the comparative. And if Sargento's cheese snacks had more protein than any of the rest, it wins, right? So it's superlative. It's the best. So the superlative of more is most. So Sargento cheese snacks have the most protein. Alrighty. The next page is the vocabulary, and I underlined this one down here because guess what? I left the answer in it for you, so yay. So number 4, it says the food pantry blank food to those in need. And I put that I had already left the answer in there. So the food pantry distributes food to those in need. And then I've been talking to some people on the phone about how to improve or upgrade how we're doing our online classroom. And from day to day, the instructions on what you're doing with your vocabulary is getting lost. So every day of the week, you're using the same vocabulary words, but I know it's hard. And sometimes the sentences don't use the same form of the vocabulary word. So I've decided just to give you a few answers to help you get focused and on track of what we're working on. However, in the first one on the back page of that fill in the blanks activity, I actually just plain should have written in a word here that I didn't. So, and it's not a vocabulary word. So I'm going to do that whole sentence. Let me see if I can get it up there close enough for you to read. The scientist compared results, and that's not a vocabulary word, so please just put that in there for you because you will get lost because there is no good answer from your 6 vocabulary words. So the scientist compared results. And then I answered number 3 part of it. Number 3, the Red Cross was established. So it's the past tense of established. The Red Cross was established to, and you fill in the rest. But anyway, that way you can get a little bit of a head start on that. All right, on the next page is our smooth reading. Are you looking for a new job or starting a new job? And I hope everyone has kept their job. I've heard a few incidents that people have lost their job because they were not here in the United States during that spring break transition, and I'm sorry about that. I hope everyone is keeping their job and everyone's financially doing okay. So on the bottom of that, there were some definitions to look at. Impression. It's what you think about someone or something. You make an impression. Usually when the first time you see someone, you make an impression on them and they make an impression on you. It's just sort of like your first automatic view of them, what you think of them. And then dress code, rules about what you can wear to work. So in honor of that, today I wore something from Colvin. Usually, at our work we need to dress professionally, but we can wear also stuff that has Colvin stuff on it. So that's why I wore that today. And then introduce, to tell another person's name, to get to know them. So like, I'd like for you to meet this person. Co-workers, the people that work with you. And then personal, not having to do with your job. So those are just some words that you need to know. On the smooth reading itself, I want you to underline all of the suffixes that end in ed. And there's a whole bunch of them. Okay, you can pause and do that now. My other computer just turned on for some strange reason. Okay, you can pause and do that now. I got 21 EDs on mine. So I don't have a reader this week, so I'm going to have to read these for you. And I'm trying to use my phone to give you enough time to answer back. Remember, we're doing echo reading, where I read a sentence, you echo the same sentence back to me. Okay. Here we go. It was important for John to make a good impression when he started his new job. Here are some of his tips. He dressed in the right clothes. He researched if his new job had a dress code. He followed it. He looked neat and clean. He arrived at work on time. Employers like it when employees come to work on time. He made sure he arrived 5 minutes early. Always a good idea. That's not part of the read. He paid attention to introductions. As his boss introduced him to coworkers, he worked hard to remember their names. John knew those coworkers were important. They answered his questions when the boss was not around. He asked plenty of questions. John was told what he needed to do for his job. He asked questions when he didn't understand. He asked questions when he didn't know what to do next. He followed the guidelines for his lunch break. He found out how much time was allowed for lunch. He always arrived back from lunch on time. He did not make personal telephone calls. He committed to never making personal phone calls unless it was a family emergency. He waited to see when other people left. He watched his coworkers and left with them or after them. Okay, so that's your smooth reading. And remember, you can pause and do that again and again until you are making it sound like pretty English. Sounds pretty coming out of your mouth. We're just working on how it sounds. All right, so at the bottom, we're going to do the main idea. So for our questions, who or what is this mostly about? Okay, it's about John, but it is also about John's new job, isn't it? So we're going to say this is mostly about his new job. John's new job. And I have lost my second one. Losing my... Okay. And what is the most important thing about this article? Not a picture. What is the most important thing about this article? Well, he definitely gave a lot of tips for how to start a new job or what you need to do when you are starting a new job. So it's all about the new job, and he gave a lot of good guidelines. So what can we say about it? Is this mainly about the guidelines? Is this mainly about what he did? So I'm going to pause it for just a second and you guys record what you thought. All right, so this is what I got for the main idea. John follows guidelines to make a good impression at work. Okay, I forgot my period, but put a little period there. John follows guidelines to make a good impression at work, because it was mainly about the guidelines and how to make a good impression. So that's what I put. Now, I wanted to go over the organizer. That's right here for your smooth reading, because it's different than the ones you've seen before. We've gone over the organizer that does the sequencing, the first, second, third, next, finally, last. And we've done the cause and effect organizer. This is just a main idea and details, because there were a whole bunch of details on there, right? I mean, there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 details or guidelines on what to do to make a good impression at work. And so there's 9. Is there enough room to do all 9 details? No. There's only 4 boxes down here. Sorry, so sorry about that. So I'm combining one for you. I'm doing one for you because in the article, it was all about time, the 3 that I'm doing. Let's see if I can get that close enough. You see the ones that are starred? He arrived to work on time. He followed the time lines for lunch, and he left with the other people. So all 3 of those have to do with time, right? So you can actually make one sentence with it because they all have to do with time. So we're doing sentences with semicolons. John arrived at work early. I don't know how I'm going to be able to do this. He followed the guidelines for his lunch break. Nope, can't do it. There's one more. And he waited to leave when his coworkers did. Those all have to do with time, so you can use a semicolon. John arrived at work early, semicolon. He followed the guidelines for his lunch break, semicolon. And he waited to leave when his coworkers did. Okay? Now, why do we use a semicolon instead of a comma? Because they're actually just like little sentences within the big sentence, right? So it would be too confusing with just commas. So you use semicolons when it just helps keep your division of time separate. So you've got arriving to work early, you've got your lunch break, and then you've got leaving work. So it just visually helps you keep the sentence, the ideas in the one sentence separated, okay? Because if it was just commas, I mean, it would just look like a big long series. And the ideas are similar. See how I put in a vocabulary word? The ideas are similar in this sentence, but they're not exactly the same. So semicolons just help you keep the division of the sentences, of the little sentences within the big sentence separate. So that's the one detail I gave for you, and you have room for 3 more details. So look to see if you can combine them, or if not, you'll just have to put 2 in one block, 2 in the next block. All right? So that is our smooth reading for this week. And we got a little grammar check on when to use a semicolon. The last thing, and we're going to talk about this more tomorrow, is I want you to practice. When you are practicing this, listen to when I say the T in the ED sounds, like watched and dressed. And when do I say just the D, like followed. And then when I say the id, like he committed he needed. All right? And we'll go over that tomorrow in our Zoom meeting. Don't worry about that later. All right. The last thing that we're doing today is adventures. And this is still just a follow-up on how to ask for repairs, how to ask for service from a plumber or an electrician. And so you can just fill in. It's asking like, could you, would you, will you do this for me? Okay, so you answer those in complete sentences. And then the next page, we're going to listen to a conversation. So I'm going to pause it for 1 tiny second so I can set up the conversation.
Page 105, Exercise 4, Track 31. 1.
Could you fix the light, please?
No, maybe later. 2. Could you unclog the bathtub, please?
Yes, of course.
3. Could you change the light bulb, please? Sorry, I can't right now. 4.
Could you repair the dishwasher, please? Sure, I'd be happy to.
5.
Could you clean the carpet, please?
Yes, of course. 6. Could you call a plumber, please?
No, maybe later.
Alrighty. Some of those responses, I don't know if just because we live in the Midwest and maybe we're a little bit more polite, but number 1 and number 6, when they answer with no, maybe later. Yeah, I just think that just borders on being rude, doesn't it? It's like, no, maybe later. I think in the Midwest we would say, no, I'm sorry, I can't right now. How about maybe it's just me, but it seems to come off a little bit rude. But anyway, that is it for today. But I want to give everyone a heads up. We are having a Zoom meeting where you can call in, and I know that Leslie is calling all of you guys and talking to you about how to set up Zoom on your phone or how to set up Zoom on your computer, whichever you have. So heads up, we are having a Zoom conference meeting where we can talk together over the computer or the phone. So 9 a.m. class, your Zoom meeting starts at 9:30. 11:30 class, your Zoom meeting starts at 12 noon. And the 5:45 class, your Zoom starts at 6 p.m. And if you're going home from work, you can just like pull over and park and stop in a parking lot and turn it on. Or if you're, if you can participate, that would be great. So that's on Thursday, like we had talked about. And remember that I want everybody to think about how to improve our online classroom. How can we improve this? So that's it for today. I will talk to everyone. I will have a video tomorrow, and then I will talk to all of you guys. Gosh, I miss talking to you. I will talk to all of you guys on Thursday. Bye.